Good morning students, myself Professor Neha Dave. Today we'll be starting the chapter that is Educational Provisions in Indian Constitution. Now before going into this chapter, first we'll revise whatever the concept we have discussed into the last session. Now already you might be knowing that we are into the subject that is Educational Administration, okay, management, educational and administration management. So into this last session we have discussed about what is education, what is the management, how administration works whenever you are planning to set up with any kind of institution. So we have discussed about school, we have discussed about college or any part of university or any other institution whenever you're planning out. So ultimately on that time, the administrators and the certain kind of the people, okay, into the schools and into the institution should form each and every rules and regulations, should maintain a managemental way of thoughts, minimal way of principles to develop the institution. So that is why we have discussed, and into the last session we have even discussed about certain norms, a simple way of managemental techniques. Like without this managemental techniques you cannot set up with any part of institution. So we have learned a common one whenever you are planning for any kind of organization also. On that time also the thing is what you need to go with certain type of managemental functions. Now already into the even last session we have discussed about so many different types of terms. We have discussed about managemental functions, that was a planning, organizing, directing, controlling, staffing. Okay, without first the most important thing was the planning. Without planning you cannot perform any kind of information, you cannot plan that anything. So that is why planning is an important concept. The second part, it was what an organizing. Okay, like each and everything was by step to steps. Like whenever you go, so it is like planning, organizing, directing, controlling, staffing. Okay, this was all step to step. Once we have completed with one, you need to go with the second one, then again with the third. Then afterwards the organizing, it is whatever we have thought, whatever we have been placed. So that thing should be organized, like according to how we have been planned. So according to that you need to organize. Then afterwards you need to control the resources also, because without just not using a proper way of utilization of resources, you cannot start up, or you cannot maintain a managemental technique. So that is why organizing, and then afterwards controlling, then afterwards staffing, like recruiting for certain professors or teachers whenever you start developing with any kind of institution. So on that time the manager will be appointing certain people. Into the last, even we have discussed about the superior and subordinators, where you have been seeing there was one bird who called a manager. Then afterwards there was a superior, he used to transfer, he used to give from the executive, from the manager he used to give from the executive to directly to the subordinators, and then afterwards the rest of the people was there. So this was the work should be passed, where the organization doesn't run with only one people, it runs with a group of the people. So where I'm telling about group of the people, so on that time you need to rectify, you need to see each and every terms and conditions, that how we are using a managemental skills or not, because your skills is an important concept. If you don't have a skills, if you don't have a techniques, you cannot run with any kind of institution. So that is why the thing is what here we need to have a proper way of staffing, where you need to hire that kind of candidate which is relevant for your organization. Second, you need to select also according to that way, and then afterwards with the help of this, Once staffing it has been completed, your controlling it has been done, your planning, organizing it has been done, and even the thing is what, directing. This is also called leading, because there should be a certain people to give the guidelines. If the guidelines is not given for anyone, so ultimately you cannot start with any kind of business. So that is why the guiding should be there, means a leadership skill should be also provided to the people. So here the thing is what we have discussed into the last session related with educational and administration and management, means into the organization, how you plan, how educational, means here first we have been start up with organization related, that how in organization planning, organizing, directing, controlling and staffing it has been done. Then again we have been discussed with this was only related with organization, but again one more thing we have been discussed, that was related with education. Like whenever you are planning for any education institution, so again the same concept, a managemental skills, a managemental functions, the managemental techniques you should be start to develop, and according to that part only you can start up with any kind of business. That was planning, organizing, directing, controlling and staffing. So here the thing is what, here what a simple managemental term it was is, here the simple management term is there, but this is only related with education. Each and every organization are having this managemental skills, because if you have this kind of managemental skills you can run smoothly, because each and everything will be going by step. So according to that step by step, so ultimately the thing is there won't be any kind of barriers also whenever you're moving ahead. Okay, now this was just a summarization whatever we have been discussed. This was just an elaborated part or a certain conclude part, even I concluded this thing. Okay, now today we'll be starting with the chapter that is education provisions in Indian Constitution. Now here where we are going, educational provisions in Indian Constitution. Now today just moving inside into the chapters, it's a vast slide. Now previously what we have been discussing, the thing is into the chapters, I'll just summarize you the some concept. So at least what, when we are going into the depth of the chapter, so at least you might be knowing that this was a concept was discussed. Now today we'll be starting with the help of education provisions in Indian Constitution. Now already first chapters you got to know the management skills and function skills, certain managemental techniques, each and everything. Now today on the next chapters you will be learning certain provisions which is only made for an education. Like whenever an education it has been started, okay, when because this was started into the Constitution during once we got an independence. Then afterwards the thing is what, certain period of time the thing is what, we have been developed a constitution, and on that day, the day of the constitution, we have been celebrated with Republic Day. You might be knowing with this thing. Okay, so once the thing is the constitution has been set up, now into this we will be learning the constitution. Constitution, it is what, the set of rules and regulations. We'll go ahead, so I'll just give you the even the elaboration of constitution, what you mean by constitution also. I have some slides also. So according to that thing, you will be knowing what is the constitution. Now today you will be learning about what is constitution, why the thing is the constitution has been formed. Second part, what are the rules and regulations are been set up related with the education. Now already you might be learning that into the constitution during the time when the independence was not got, and once the thing is there was a certain kind of barriers relating to it when the Britishers was ruling on that time. So slowly and steadily the thing is what, the Indian becomes a freedom. We got an independence on 47, and once in the 47 the thing is what, we have been started with the help of to develop a constitution. Already the constitution was formed in 1930, but the thing is what, it was a Britishers rule what it was formed. But now currently after certain period of time the thing is what, once we got an independence and directly again it has been commenced it, and again the thing is what, the constitution was formed and it was called as the Indian way of constitution, what we are performing right now, what we are following right now. So into that constitutions there was having so much of article where freedom was discussed, right of freedom, right of fraternity, right of education, right of equality. This was all rights which was given for our Indian citizen once we got an independence. So that thing related we'll be learning right now. But here the thing is that independence related, after the thing is what we got a constitution, when the constitution was set up. So now we are celebrating with Republic Day, which is on 26th of Jan 1950, when the thing is what, on that time we got in, constitution was formed. So like on 30 whatever the constitution was formed, it was a British government related. But once we got an independence, again the thing is what, this only again they have been transformed, and finally the thing is what, once that was commenced by Indian constitution, that is on 26th of Jan 1950. And now the thing is, into this you will be learning all laws related. Now here we have more impact. What a constitution, like constitution you can say it's a vast, because the rules and regulations are vast, the sections are there, the provisions are there, the articles are being there are so much of different things. But here today the thing is what we are be learning related with the education. In the constitution related with right to education, what it has been, exactly what the education means, what rights are given related with education. Now here the rights what we will be discussing related to teachers, children, then afterwards the person who are into the schools. Okay, so here certain rights what we'll be discussing here, certain articles I'll be having right now, and with the help of an articles you will be getting out like when the thing is what, once we got this right to education related, but still the thing is what, we was not get it till 1960. Okay, means you can understand 1950 what a constitution was formed, and on that time the thing is what, this right to education related was there. But still the thing is, till the 10 years the thing is what, there was not more and more commencing related to education, because the thing is what, we was on that time the thing is what, the country was poor, and on that time the thing is what, you was not having that kind of infrastructures and development. So that is why the thing is what, and even the thing is what, there are certain discrimination related to education and all. So that is why people was not into that part of more and more attraction. So 10 years the thing is what, we was just dead with the help of an education. But here after certain period of time the thing is what, they got a value, certain norms, certain rules has been set up related with the education. Then the thing is what, people started sending their children to the schools, college, institutions, that the thing is what, at least what, they learn something, and finally the thing is what, they developed our country also. So that is why education is an important concept related to this. Why this chapter it has been there into this part of your subject? Because it is must, you should know about it, why education is must. So that is why right of education, where it has been given into our country, where you are having each and everything, equality, freedom, fraternity, each and everything it has been there, and each and every concept are having certain meaning. So if you are aware with a certain meaning, then only the thing is what, the thing is you might be knowing about the more and more impact, and even more and more benefits related to what rights in education says about. And then afterwards from here also, at least what you can send to your children for a school, for a certain kind of institution or a governmental schools, at least the thing is what, certain the benefits you get it from this. So into this today you will be seeing this thing. I have already elaborated to you each and everything. After this we'll be seeing internal concepts. Certain I have given the certain pictures I have been given to it. Then afterwards, the help of the pictures, at least what you will be getting a complete way of elaboration, that how the poverty has been started, because the people are not qualified. So if they are not getting proper education, ultimately poverty will be there. So if poverty will be there, so ultimately they won't be unemployed, because employment is not there. Because why? Qualification is not there. They cannot do anything. So that is why that all problems what we are facing relating to this, what 10 years what we have been faced. Until after 10 years, the thing is what we are there. And currently even you will be seeing in the recent trend how we are running right now. Now you can see each and every, this right to education has meaning right now to each and every individual child also. And finally the thing is what, and government has given certain kind of benefits to those children who cannot, who are like who don't have an employment properly, or else the thing is their family condition is not good. So the municipality schools has been started up. So finally the thing is, and there also they started giving the benefits. Even certain casteism has given a certain benefits. Certain religions has been given a benefit. So with the help of this, when it happens like after 1960, slowly and steadily it started developing, and finally the thing is what, each and every people got more interest related to the education, and finally the thing is what, the rights of education got the exactly meaning to it. So what a constitution says about it, the thing is what, each and every right, each and every secure related to each and every people who have been staying into India. Okay, I'll just go with the next slide, because as we will go the slide, because already we have done the small elaboration related to the whole chapter. So here as if we'll go ahead with the next point, and even I have some articles related with certain sessions, so at least you might be knowing, because each and every session says something else. Now your sessions, it is what, certain rules and regulations, and according every day the section goes, every day the section develops, those rules and regulation every day it is been amended, and with the help of this amendment finally the thing is what, the rules and regulations have been set up by the schools, even for the children. Even your teachers related rights is also given. What are the rights of the teachers, because when related with education it has been there, so what rights to be given by the teachers also, because with the help of that only the thing is what, he will be that he will be only coming and he will be only analyzing, and he will be only explaining to the children, because if the teachers are having that part of it. So that is why here into this right of education has been elaborated each and every kind. So we'll go ahead with the next slide. First, this was only just the introduction part. Now see, as if I already said, what is constitution exactly, the meaning says. Now already we have been discussed the Republic Day related, Independence Day related, how we got our independence also, and second part when the Republic Day was being celebrated. And already the thing is, the act was already been passed previously in 30. But the thing is, slowly and steadily once we got an independence, again the thing is what, it has been undergoing the transformation, it has been a transformation, finally it went with the 50. Now here, what do you mean by constitution? When constitution was set up in 26th of Jan 1950, so on that time, what was the exact meaning of constitution? Because you guys should know, here when I'm telling about it, because you will be also saying where rights of education has been came. It came from the constitution. So what is exactly meaning from the constitution says about it? Now first, nature of the nation. Okay, nature of the nation means what are the nation says about. First, socialite and secular. That is the two major points, democratic and republic. This should be a this should be a four different types of a nature when related with the nation. The nation says about the sociality, okay, secular, okay, each and every people should be secular, democratic, each and every people should get a proper freedom. Second, republic, okay, proper way of republican way, where anywhere freedoms, anywhere of you can be a secular on that time, you can just transform anything and all, you are very free for it, that thing. So this nature says about the nation, the constitution when it was set up. So on that time, this was the four major points says about the constitution. And then afterwards, and this four major point when it was said about the constitution, it was not only for that person, or it was not only for the particular people, it was whole for the nation. Next, identifying of nation, okay, identify, because with the help of this, at least there is an identification. Listen students, each and every country are having their own rules, own regulations, their own transformation, or different sections, different rules, different regulations. Okay, so the same here we are learning about the Indian Constitution related. When I'm telling about the Indian Constitution related, Indian Constitution, what it has been said, a nation should get freedom, it should be republic, secular and socialized. Okay, and it should be with the help of this, it is the thing is what, it shows the identification of the nation. It shows certain kind of attraction related to this, that this nation says about this thing. Next, there is a guarantee, okay, as the constitution has been formed and as this different types of terms has been formed about it, finally each and every people will be getting a justice, okay, freedom of thoughts, you can give your own views, you can give your own perceptions. Here it is what, you can give your own thoughts. Here it is not like that, that Indian Constitution has not said you should not do this thing, you should not do this thing. Here each and everything has been given a freedom, but here there should be a certain type of bars, where into that kind of only bars you need to have a talk. But here the thing is what it has been said, freedom of thoughts, you can give your freedom of thoughts. Expressions, okay, you can give your own views, okay, beliefs, faith, worships equality of status and opportunity and fraternity, etc. This is what our Indian Constitution says about it. So Constitution is the mixture of this, and finally the thing is what it is present in the front of the people, where you have a secular, you have a freedoms, you have a republican country. Here with the help of this, it shows certain kind of identification. As it shows certain kind of identification, finally the thing is what your Indian Constitution even says about it. It gives the justice, it gives the proper freedoms of thoughts, expressions. You can give your own views. You have to have a belief, faith in whatever the answer it has been given to it. Worshipping equality of status. Each and every status have been given certain, each and every status are given an equality. It is not like that this came from here, this came from here. Each and every status is given an equality. Opportunity, each and every people are given an opportunity. It is not like that you are from here, you are from here, so now the thing is what I won't be giving you that kind of opportunity. And fraternity, okay, so this is a different type of concepts related, different type of point related, that is called a constitution. Okay, so you might be gone through this, what is the constitution, and you got the exact meaning what is a constitution related. And without this, the thing is what the republic, it cannot be set up. Now, after independence, Article 45, it is related with the Constitution only. So, in Constitution, certain like how we go 1, 2, 3, 4, that way. The thing is what, according to this, the section it has been said. Now, after independence, it has been said. Article 45 under the Indian Constitution state that the states shall envy to provide within a period of 10 years from the commencing of the Constitution for free and compulsory education for all children until they complete the age of 14. Now, according to this part of article, and once we got an independence, it was stated that after 10 years, the thing is what means in between of 10 years, each and every people is free to give their education, should give the education at the age of 14. It means they should send their children to the schools, to any kind of institution. Until the age of 14, they should study. But the state failed miserably in fulfilling this obligation, as it is evident from the fact that even after 60 years, universal elementary education remains a distant dream. Now, already have been said to you, means as once we got an independence, and into the independence time, the thing is what it was said to it that at the age of 14 years, the thing is what children should give them education. But the thing is what, this thing has been stopped. Till 60 years, the thing is what, there was not a proper way of education facilities. There was not given any kind of way of facilities, any kind of way of books related informations and all, nothing was there. So that is why it became a dream related to that each and every people related with the education should be given. So previously the thing is, once we got an independence, once the Constitution has been set up, and then afterwards, till that after, means those rights was also been developed, but still the thing is what, related to right to education related, nobody was given, children was not given an education. So that is why the thing is what, it was stated that the thing is, even though rules and regulations has been formed, but still the thing is, it was into the dream. The people was not given till 60 years, the thing is, any way of education related, any way of learning system was not provided. So that is why it was a dream where they thought about, and finally the thing is what, means they thought about it, keeping that much type of provisions. We have been fight so much, and finally Constitution has been came. Rules and regulations have been set up for the education, but still the thing is what, till the 60 years, finally the thing is, we did not got anything related with the education. The family was not providing a children any kind of education, so that was a dream part. So then afterwards, slowly and steadily they thought about it to give the education. Now see, what are the facilities was given afterwards. Now here, to free and compulsory admission, attendance and competing to EE, that is free and compulsions, that is called free, is no child liable to pay any fees, expenses preventing her for pursuing, and compulsion on the state parental duties to send the children to the school. Now previously what this was also been planned, like previously when this type of related with Republican Day, related with the Constitution, when they have been planned with the right of an education. So on that time they thought about this to also to give that to free and compulsory attendance, admissions, okay, and completions should be there related to education. They have been already thought about it to be given by the education. Okay, means previously once they have been set, this type of rules and regulations they have been set up. And free and compulsion means what? Free means what? No child is liable to pay any fees, expenses preventing her from pursuing and completing the education. So here, when on that time there was no any kind of cost also was given on that time, and finally it was like relief for them that you don't pay the cost, but at least you come for an education related. And it was a compulsion for every parents to send their children to the school. Not enrolled dropout children will be admitted to the age appropriated class. Okay, this was also, but the thing is the point has been admitted on that time. No child shall be failed or expelled up to the class 8 bars. Corpus punishment, mental harassment. Now here each and every rules and regulations you can see on that time they have been set up so much of different things that no child shall be failed or expelled up to class 8 bars, corporal punishment, mental harassment. Now related to this part of it, it was also being taken care, and if this part of it they have been thought about it, so that is why they was not supposed to send the students child into the schools. So that is this all the government has given the facilities on that time. Their compulsory admission should be done, compulsory way of attendance is also been done related with education. But here no fees and no expenses was charged during that time. But only the thing is what related to this, it was the duty of the parents to send their children to the school. This was a bar. This was the rules and regulation was there into the performance. Now here provisions of a teacher. Now qualifications. Now, qualifications for appointment of a teachers to be laid down by academical authority authorized by the central government. Now, on that time, when related to this part of the constitution also given, when related with right to education related, the constitution also set up certain rules related to the provisions. Provisions, it is what rules and regulations which were set up by the teachers. The teachers should qualified of appointment of a teachers to be laid down by the academical authority authorized by the central government. Here the teacher should be properly qualified, and finally the thing is what their authorization should be done by the central government. This was there on the previously. Academical responsibility of the teachers laid down, prohibited deploying of a teachers for non-education purpose except from denying census, disaster relief, election of parliament, state legislature, local body. Okay, this was already the teachers was not given that part of more and more traction. They was directly restricted to this thing. It was an academical responsibility of a teacher. Teachers will be laid down related to whatever the performance related to the students will be there. So related with academical performance and all, which was only related by the teachers. So here the basic way and important way was a teacher, because teacher, if finally, if the teacher's provisions it has been made, so on that time the teachers can give the proper way of information to the children, and even he can follow that kind of guidelines. So that is why the provisions of the teachers was also being laid down. And finally, the thing is the central government was there on that time who was an authorized related to this, and finally the thing is what they were supposed to recruit from by the central government. So this was a provision related with teachers. But they should be having a proper way of educational facilities and even with the qualified teachers. Now, I have certain provisions relating with the school. Okay, first the provision was made by the teachers. Now, second provisions will be made by the school. Norms and standards specified for all the schools. Okay, here certain norms was given and certain facilities standard specified for all the schools was given. Infrastructures and related facilities, okay, already was given. Pupils, teachers ratio for each school. School days, working hours for the teachers' facilities. Okay, so here each and every provision was also given by the students also, that there will be the proper way of infrastructures, the norms and the standards specified for all schools. Now for the all schools, usually the infrastructures and related facilities was given properly. Pupils, teachers ratios for each school, each and every schools will be having certain ratios, and that ratios means for a particular student, for example, if there are 60 students, so for 60 students there will it might be 2 teachers or a 3 teachers which should be there. So this is certain mathematical term, they need to do the ratio relating to this, and finally as they do the ratio, so finally the thing is what, this means ratio related, the thing is the teacher should be present in the front of the children. So this has been there. Schools day working hours for the teachers. Okay, the teachers will be working according to the school days, whenever whatever the timings will be there and whatever the days it will be there. Facilities, community participation in school ensures through SMC comprising election repeat, teachers and parents. Now here the thing is what, community participation was also being conducted into the small scales, where the thing is what, it was comprised by all the teachers and all the way of parents related. Means here all way of involvement was given to the certain part of communities, and with the help of that communities finally there was more engaged with the help of this part of schools. So this was also given by the provisions for the schools to start up with this thing. 3/4 member from among the parents of children in the school will be 50% women. Okay, 3/4 of the members from the among parents of the children in the school will be 50%. This was also being given, that third and fourth members, third or a fourth members from the among parents of a children in the school will be a 50% women will be there. For proportional representation to the weaker and deprived section, your weaker sections and deprived section, their both section was also being kept. Proportionally you need to keep certain representatives, so at least what they can come and they can guide. SMC to plan, manage and monitor and collaborations with the local authorities. Okay, you have a certain part of corporations, and with the help of the corporation, your managing and monitoring way of collaboration with the local authorities, means the local authorities related, they was having the connection relating to have more and more engaged to it, means they need to have a more focus relating to manage and even to the monitoring this thing. So here they have been kept related to provisions related certain people for a local authority also to look after to all the provision, whether the provisions are going true and fair way or not. So these are the different part of concepts related for the schools. I have some more, the provisions for these schools. Now, here there was one more facilities were also given. All aided schools to be provide free educations to at least 25 children. This was also facilities was also given. Those aided and unaided. Aided, it is what a session who are being highly qualified. The students who are having the proper way of qualification, who are having the good marks, so at least they keep this people and finally keep this much children into the aided section. So finally with the help of this, they used to even keep minimum at least 25% of children should get free education related facilities. Special category schools and unaided schools to admit in class first at least 25% children belonging to the weaker sections and disadvantages group from the neighboring, and providing free and compulsory elementary education. Now here even also said, now when I'm telling to you aided it is what the students who are been good, who are been deprived students who have a good knowledge related to, and finally we are keeping in class A and B, means the grade A and B, like you can say division A and B. But when I'm telling about it, the unaided usually comes in C and D, the students who are in the weaker section. So here both the side it has been said at least, okay, both the side it has been said here, the thing is what, at least 25% of the students should get this part of free education related, and even the students who are from the unaided, so unaided students who are been there, so they should be also get 25% of a student should get that kind of all facilities. But even the thing is what, more rest related with certain part of all more information related should be also given, means not even related the students who are in the weaker one, so we are only providing to that, but even add certain extra way of educations to it, so at least they can improve himself and finally can come down into the certain with the good percentage. So this was also been given, and it was also provided free and compulsory was there. No caption fees, okay, the fees was not taken extra any caption fees. No screening for the admission, okay, you should, it is not like that for the admission you need to give this documents, that documents, and rest more other provisions to be followed and this and that and all, means more way of when the students are been entering, and finally the thing is what, when admissions to be taken. So it is not like that to just go through so many different details and we need so much of paper. So here that was also not required. No schools without recognition. Here the thing is what, it was not like that, that no schools without recognition. If schools are not, then if it has been not recognized, so that it has been strictly, it has been prohibited. So here each and every relationship with the provisions of the school has been set up. So whenever the schools are being placed, so here the thing is what, this part of provisions related, this part of rules and regulations was already planned, and finally with the help of that part of plan, the thing is what, the provisions was being developed, the rules and regulations was also being developed. Now, the goal of education envisaged in the Constitution. Now, as I've already said, right of education when I'm saying here. So, right of education, what it is my main goal related with education. Why I have been set up this part of, when I'm saying about right of equality, right of freedom, right of fraternity, right of speech, right of expressing any rights if I'm putting here. But here we are having, here we are learning the rights that is called related with education. But what are my main goals? Goals means what? What are my main objectives? What are my purpose? Why am having more and more engaged into that part of certain things, and why I have kept this concept into the Constitution? The first is, and even the thing is what, and even after this, what the Constitution says. The first, it is what, training the citizen. Obviously, my main objectives will be there. The thing is what, to train the citizen. Now already till the time we was not got an independence, the thing is what, there was no qualification, the standard of the living was very low. Okay, no other competition was there. We was like wherever we was a farmers, and finally on that time Britishers was ruling. So finally we was not that much qualified. We was not even that much part of knowing. Once we got an independence, slowly and steadily, the thing is what, the thing is each and everything, when we there was a partition after independence. Once we got, so there was a partitions, and after partitions, even the thing is what, the standard of the living was not even changed. It was same as it is, because the thing is what, there was no any kind of employment, there was no any kind of qualification, no any kind of rules and regulations was set up. Slowly and steadily, the thing is what, the government thought about it. Let us just, whatever the Constitution was previously, which was envy, so let us come and let us transform that part of Constitution right now, and let us put that part of certain rules and regulations. And on that time, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was there, who started with the help of this, and finally the thing is the Constitution was built. Once the Constitution was built, and then afterwards, still the thing is what, we was not getting that much part of way of the people, where he can come, he can start up with employment, he can start up with the jobs, he can start, because what, qualification was not there, money was not there, and on previously so much of years before, there was a barter exchange was there. Slowly and steadily, the currency has been started. Once this part of each and every system has been started up, it started developing. Government started developing themselves, certain kind of schools, hospitals, they have been started, and finally slowly and steadily, the thing is what, even the education was not given that much priority previously. Once the Constitution has been built, certain rights has been built. This after certain period of years, the thing is what, finally after, you can say a certain 60 years of it, finally we was fighting out, and finally certain period of time, the thing is what, the education related, the thing is, the importance of an education got to know by each and every people. So that is why the thing is what, they started developing this part of rules and regulations. Finally, the thing is what, my main goal, why I have been set up this thing, first it is what, to train the citizen. If the people will be educated, finally they might be knowing what is right, what is wrong. If they might be knowing what is right, what is wrong, finally the thing is what, they'll qualify more and more, and finally the thing is what, they'll represent themselves with the employment will be started. Once employment be started, the people will be getting jobs. As the people will be getting jobs, now the thing is what, now you can say into the current world, as we are into 2018, we are into the competitive world, where you can say a qualification related, it is like, it has become a vast to it. The education means the more benefit it is given for an education. A single middle also, they used to send their children to the schools, after once completing their schools, they have their own way of development related to it. Finally, currently these people are the children are ready to face the world. So that part of competition, it has been what we are facing. Previously, this part of competition what we was not facing. So that is why. This is what once the thing is what all the rules and regulation has been set up, the different leaders who came into India and finally they given the importance of an education to send their children to the school. So that is why that type of priorities was given, and even those rules was also set up. So finally the thing, and even government has given so much of different benefits also. Certain free schools, certain free admissions was given, certain free way of attendance was there. Like you can go for the school, and finally the thing is the lectures have been started. You can go over there. There is no fees. Certain way of categories. Students was also given a benefit that this student should not pay that much amount and all. But see, you can see so much of different type of benefits was given. And finally the thing is what my main target was to, as I build the constitution, and that I have built the rights of education related. So what are my main things? That is what to train the citizen. Now the thing is what the citizens are qualified, they are educated, and even certain languages related also, their mother tongue language also, the education has been started. It is not like which was only given a priority for only particular language. Currently the thing is there are a number of languages, and with the help of number of languages you can learn. Okay, the main priority it was the thing is that is what a learning session, because if you learn then only the thing is what you can face the world right now. Because here the thing is my first motive will be what to train the citizen. Now the citizen have been properly trained, and here as you learn you train yourself properly. Okay, so first is this. Next, inculcations of social and moral values. Finally, means the main rights of a constitution related to this thing. My objectives will be also to know about the social and moral values. What is right, what is wrong, what are values, what are norms you are following. Because if you learn, if you are proper educated, you know not to do this thing, better it is to go this thing, go into this part, go into that part. So which your norms and the social way of activities are being developed. Achieving social and national integration, even you achieve your social values and even for the national integration means what currently currently now we are ready, like no, this constitution has said this, the law has been said this thing. So national integrations related also you achieve more and more way of knowledge to this, where the education is given finally more priorities to this. Then providing education for all. Here the education is not like that for only for the particular people and not for the particular way of religion. It is like the education it was for all, and even the provision was also for all. It was not like that he is from higher class, he is from the middle class, he is from the lower class. So finally only higher class people will be only getting education, the lower and middle won't be getting. So it is not like that. The education it is for. The constitution it is also built for all. It is not like that the constitution is only built for the certain people. The rules and regulations are for all, and they will be following by the nation-wise. Equalizing education opportunity, what I said, opportunity related with education was given and equal. It is not like that I'll teach him more, he will be having more knowledge. If I don't teach him more, he won't be having that part of knowledge. Here the equalization will be given and all. All the children have been sitting. It is not here related, he is from higher class, he is from lower class, he is from middle class. All the education related facility will be given and opportunity will be for all. Achieving social and cultural development, even with this your social values and even for the cultural development, okay, it will be started developing, because as if you qualified the main rights, the main goal of education will be even this also, where you can achieve social values and even with the cultural development also. Achieving the modernization of Indian society, as you learn, as the job opportunity are there, as the employment has been there, the poverty reduced. Okay, so with the help of this, the poverty also reduced, and finally the thing is what currently we are into the modernization period of Indian society. What we was there previously, that was an ancient one. But once the thing is what from the ancient, the people got qualified, the people are knowing about it. Finally the thing is what, finally with the help of this, the main impact, the main motive of to develop this part of rights will be the modernization of society, where each and every people are qualified. They have the importance of education, as they learn, their skills are developed, okay, and finally the thing is what they are able to ready to face the world. So that is why even you have been seen currently, if you go for any kind of interview also, you for one position there are 10 people, means you can see how challenging what we are facing, what a globalization we are right now, where for only for one position there are more than 200 people who are sitting for that one position. Means you can say all are properly qualified, all are properly skilled, but even the thing is what, from this there will be only one people who will be selected. So means currently also see, currently we are facing number of competitions to it. Previously this was not there. Currently the thing is we are into the modernization of society. Why this happened? Because of an education. The education has been developed, and finally the thing is it has been even started with the changing also, because some people thought about it, let us go and work it. Some people thought about it, I have completed, now I'll start with my own business and I'll give an opportunity for the other people. So means you can say the modernization period has been started right now. So the main impact of this to develop right of education was this only. Next it is what, achieving human resources development, as if I already, this only point what I've been discussed right now, where human resources development will be also there, where HR, the thing is currently, previously the thing is what, there was not this kind of facilities was there previously, where to recruit any kind of people, okay, it was like the any of the people there on that time, they have been qualified, they have been called, and then afterwards they said you start doing your job. But currently the thing is the HR it has been, and finally the thing is what, with the help of an education, with the help of qualification, skills, knowledge, your thoughts, your visualizations, the way of other activities, your qualities, if this are been there. So currently the thing is what, the HR has been also been started developing this part of it. They thought about it, if we kept an HR, and finally with the help of an HR will be seeing about, they'll be doing a screening, and finally the thing is what, with the help of proper way of education, who's having the other way of rules and regulations related knowledge, finally that person can place properly into for that proper people proper way of position. So the main goal of an education unveiled in the constitution. So in the constitution related to the right of education, this was an objectives, and finally with the help of this only objectives, the thing is what, the right of education was given that kind of priorities. So with the help of this, finally the thing is what, you can start up with the certain new rules, new regulations relating to this. Just a minute. Now, the constitution provision related to, now here you can see even 42 amendments in 1976 education was made in the concurrent list. Now previously, as if I already said, Republic Day was set up on 26 Jan 1950, but the thing is what, relating to education related priorities was even given to the, it was given under 42 amendments in 1976. Education was made the concurrent list, means that was given in the more priorities to this. So finally you can see this is the where the place where the constitutions have been built. Okay, this is the where the parliament, you can say, where the constitution was built, and finally all rules and regulations it has been passed. You might be heard with Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, and with the help of that part they passed the bill. So amendment, it is what a change is, means you can say like on 50, after 50, once in 26th January 1950, as we got an independence, as we got a Republic Day was celebrated because the constitution was built. Slowly and steadily related to each and every particular rights related, each and every way of importance was given to each and every rights, and after on 42 amendments, means every time they were sitting, and finally with the help of sitting with the 42 way of amendment, once they again their changes on the 1970 related with education was made the concurrent list, means they have been given the more priority related to the education related. So this was a constitution provision related with the educational part. Now see, equality before law, okay, here the second province, it is now according to the Article 14 state, shall not deny to any people equality before a law or equal protections of a law within a territory of an India. Here it won't be denied, means here each and every people, the word only say equality before law, means here it is the law is after, but previously the thing is it is called as a equality. Each and every people will be treated equally. So according to the Article 14, here in the territory of India, means in the territory of India, here each and every people will be accepting equally after law. Once the law is our second part, but the thing is what each and every people will be treated as equal. This was also been set up with the help of a constitution. They have made this also law. Women education was also been even provided once Article 15 subsection 3 provided special provisions for the women and the children. Now previously this was also not started up because on that time only the male was given a priorities that if the male will be learning, so finally he is the main owner, he's the main the thing is the main person of the, he's the head of the person who is running the house and all. So on that time only the priority which was only given with the help of only males, but slowly and steadily certain leaders who came and finally they thought about it and they even set up with the help of this part of provisions where the priorities was given for women and also and even for the children also. They've been kept with the certain provisions, and with the help of that type of provision, the thing is what for the women and the children also they have been started certain kind of new development, and even the provisions were set up related to the women education. The National Commission of Women's in India, even there was a certain commission who started up, and finally with the help of that commission, those females, those women who was not getting an education, it was planned and it was started giving to that part of it. So means you can say the Article 15 subsection 3 has given also the more priorities related to the women's and even for the children's also. They started developing to this. Equality of opportunity for the employment. Now even here the thing is what? Equality of an opportunity for employment. For an employment also equal opportunity was given. Now see, equal opportunity now according to Article 16 states, equal opportunity for all the citizen is made related to the employment or appointments to of any office under the states. Now here it has been said, if the even into the this part of rules and regulations, even Article 16 says about it that each and every people will be treated as equal, and each and every people will be also getting an employmental properly, means where he can the office can appoint that person, he can appoint that person for that particular way of information. No discrimination, here there won't be any kind of discriminations with respect to all the employments on the ground of religion. If you are hiring any part of candidate, so here it is not like that there won't be any kind of discrimination, it will be treated as each and every people will be equal. And second part, as per the education, how he is having, as per the skills, how he is having out, so we are hiring according to that part. But here there won't be any kind of discrimination related to the people, whoever people are been there where we are appointing to that person into the office. No, not related to religion, okay, racism, he is black, he is white, casteism won't be there. Then afterwards sex won't be there, means if it's a male, female, no harassments will be conducted. Place of birth and residential areas, residential etc. Your each and everything won't be get that much bite of discrimination. Your discrimination won't be created. Each and every people will be treated as equal. So your equality of opportunity for an employment. Each and every people, whenever you want to hire, so here it will be treated as an equal. This has also been stated by Article 16. Clear directions for the religion educations, even this part of it when related to with the religion educations related also, this part of given the priorities. So stated fund education institutions cannot compel the children to be present to any religion ceremony, Article 26. Cannot arrange any religion education, that is Article 28. Means here even it has been said relating to any part of religion ceremony or any part of religion education. So here it is like not being compared, it is not been arranged anything to this. You can go do with your own sense. So here the thing is the article has been constituted, so it has been funded in even the state funded education institutions. You have a certain state who funds to the certain part of education and given the more priorities to that part of work for the children, so at least what they can at least get clear directions related to the religional education. So here the thing is a clear direction for religion education. It is also been given with the proper way of states related. It is given by according to the state related. So how it is been performed according to that way. I have prohibitions of employment of children in the factory. This has been strictly restricted according to the Article 24 guarantee that no children below the age of 14 years shall be employed to the work or any factories or a mine. So here is also been totally discriminated. But the thing is, what this has been current time, the thing is it has been strictly been restricted. Here it has been not given right now. The Article 24 and it shows a guarantee that no child below the age of 14 years shall be employed to the work in any factories and the mine. Here it has been strictly restricted because the priorities was given. 18 is the majority when it comes, and this all comes into the minority. So this people, it has been not at all been not at all kept, and it is not given. It's strictly restricted to not given the employment also. Okay, so this is one type of an article. So your prohibition of an employment of children in the factories, etc. Equal rights to the admissions and in education institution. Already I have been said here, when education related will be there, so equal rights will be given in according to the Article 29 subsection 3 providers, where no citizen will be deprived to any of the rights to the admissions to any states or state aids or self-financed education institution on the basis of any religion, race, caste, etc. Now here it is totally been deprived. Here it has been not given like the thing is what the article was amended on Article 29 subsection 3 provides, like not even for the any states or any kind of the state aided or self-financed education institutions where the education was only provided related with the religions, race, caste, etc. If this kind of scenario it has been there, so no citizens will be deprived. Here this part of thing won't be created here. So according to this, each and every equal rights to be admission in the educational institution. Each and every people will be having in institution related in equal rights. Here you can see I have given certain pictures also. So you can see, at least you can analyze that each and every peoples are getting their proper way of priorities related to this. Special provision for the education of a minority. Even there is an Article 30 subsection 1 and 30 subsection 2. These two things has been also been set up where it has been said special provision for education for minority. The people who are from minority, so finally that part of also has given a priorities to this. Religion or linguistic minority will be enjoying the rights of establishing administrations of education institutions of their interest. So here related to the people who are belonging to religions or any linguistic minority will enjoy the rights to establish an administrator of education institution of their interest. It is depend upon the education institution, it is depend upon them that whichever the religions, linguistic, whatever the minorities they are behaving out, so again they can come and they can deprive and finally they can accept that thing also. It has been given because here free form it has been given to that. According to Article 30 subsection 2 states, will not discriminate the provision assistance to education institution run by the minorities. Here there won't be any discrimination who are the people who are running the institution related with the minority. So here discriminations won't be created, and finally the thing is it is depend upon the people whichever the interest they feel, and finally they can go and take the admissions into education and institutions, and here they are free to give for certain religions or any linguistic minority whichever they are belonging to. So see, this is also one type of different provisions has been start up with the help of a minority. Special provisions for the educations of a minority. Each and every minority related, it is depend upon you. Wherever you want, you can just accept to yourself. So here that part of benefits also given, and here there is no restriction is also not given according to section 30 subsection 2. Here there is no discrimination. It has been treated if the minority related in education institution, if they are running out, so here no discriminations will be created. So this is also the facility what it has been provided. A special provisions was been provided for the educational minority. Provisions for the free and compulsory, that is R3, that is right to education. So the provision free and compulsory was given according to Article 45 declare free and compulsory education for children up to the 14 years of age. So your free and compulsory way of education for the children was also given till the 14 years of age should be given, means at least students should at least till the age of 14 years, at least there should be a proper way of qualification. And even the government has been given certain free and even certain kind of compulsory. Free, it is what? Free of way of admissions. The government has been start up. Currently the thing is what? There are certain private schools and colleges has been start up. But previously the thing is this type of system was not there. So on that time government started giving a free way of schools and all. So on that time, at least it was a compulsory for the parents at least to send their children to their schools. So as there was given a free way of facilities and at least what they can study themselves. So this is also one part of it where till 14 years of age the qualification was also being given. So this is what an RTI which was in deprived. Child care and provision for an education for the infant. Even the thing is what they have been started this, the people who have been infants, okay, so that for them also for the thing they have been kept certain provisions to take care of their children. And by 93 constitution, 93rd constitution amendment in 2001, first we have been seen about 42. Now we can see after 93th constitution amendment in 2001 added to the article 45, they have been added one more on 45 stated will look after and provide educations to all the children until the age of attaining the age of 6 years. The students who are been infant means they are not proper, their way of means they are deaf or certain event has been occurred relating to this. So finally this kind of students have been there. So for them also certain cares has been taken till the age of 6 years, and even the education has also been provided till the age of 6 years. So at least what they can, at least slowly and steadily they can learn themselves, and finally the thing is what they can forward, they can move ahead with the next things. But till the age of this much 6 years, the thing is what the care was taken. Now here you can say till 93rd Constitution Amendment in 2001, it was added to the Article 45. Each and everything was been performed on that. And now you can see amendment, it is what changes. Each and every year the thing is what it does, it changes. Each and every term they have been the changes. They thought about it, let us start with this, let us start. So the Constitution started building after 1950. Slowly and steadily new rules and regulations has been set up. Every day the sitting planning was there, certain commission was sitting over there, and finally with the help of that commission, finally the thing is what slowly and steadily they started developing with the help of new different type of provision, new different type of laws, certain rights, certain benefits to the schools, teachers, then afterwards even for the institution, education related to it, the people who gets education, the person who are been the beggars, and finally for them also they have been planned for education, the who are from lower middle class also, certain STs, SC, this also people, religion related, even each and every care has been taken and each and every provision has been set up by the proper way of section. Now with the help of the sections, if certain period of time, if we are going beyond to it, finally it has been penalized also. If we are not performing according to this part of law, it has been penalized. So you need to take if the government has took a good way of attracting to the education related and more development to the education, so at least you need to take this part only into your hand, and finally you can grab that opportunity if that has been given. So because the government has given the good facilities to the children and even for the women, the priorities here, it is not like that. Already we have been seeing no religion, no caste system, no gender wise anything, it has been not given. All it has been discriminated. Here each and every people are being treated equal. So here it has been showing the humanity, it has been showing that kind of way where each and every people will be treated as equal. So here each and everything it has been performed, even for the minor, even for the majority, each and every rules and regulations are being set up into the constitution. So here there is no any kind of embarking that this thing it should be not, this thing it should be not. Each and every time the thing is what the amendment has been conducted, and with the help of till the time, till you can say till 2018, the thing is every year, every month there is a certain kind of changes and which is given a benefits to the people. Okay, and with the help of the benefits, the thing is what currently the thing is, you can say even the priorities slowly and steadily. Previously the government has been start up the schools, but now you can see certain public certain private institutions also been started, where the thing is what you can say, the fees are high because they have been started, but this is what the standard of the living of the people. Now you can say there's so much different type of developments are been there, new type of commissions, new type of this institutions, okay, has been start up, and finally they used to monitor, they used to manage each and everything, and with the help of that part of only guidance, the thing is what currently the thing is what we are having major and major impact related to right of in education. So this is what there, even they've been started with the provisions related to childcare who are been infants. So this is what the point. Now, special provision, as if I already said, who are for the weaker class, you can say scheduled caste and scheduled tribes who are in the lower middle class. Even from them also, they have been given a certain provision. Now, your autonomous tribal states in Manipuram, here the thing is what they have been started. Even this is also been started right now into the education, where the autonomous, it is what you can start up with your own institute, university, and you can set up your own rules and regulations. Previously it was not only related with a certain kind of only government it was there, but currently the thing is autonomous was also been given. You can start up with your own institution, and finally university, and you can place your own rules and regulations, which was started into because this was only started for the tribals, because the people who was in the lower middle class, who was in the weaker section, that is called a scheduled class and scheduled tribe, which was not given that much part of priorities to the people. So again they have been started according to the article. First 45 was there, second 46 is there. What has been stated, what the provision says about it relating to the weaker sections of scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. State will promote with the special care for the education and economical interest of the weaker section of the people, especially the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. So here the thing is what they have been given the more priorities related to education related, they have been given more and more impact related to it, and they have been started up with a certain special provision, the people who are belonging from scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. So they have been, according to this part of our sessions, they have been, you can see, you can look after whatever the sessions till now, whatever we have been learned, each and every class, each and every religion wise, each and everything was discussed relating to this part of right of education related. So here there is also been given this part of it, which was set up free on that time. When again more the provision for the higher education and research center of the national importance by the union government. Now slowly and steadily, as this part of schools has been set up, students started planning, certain rules and regulations were started. This was only till the age of certain education, but like if the students want to go for the higher education related, if they want to plan more and more, if they want to think about it, whatever we have been studying, now I want to go ahead with the next thing. The article even 62, 63, 4, 65, 66 states. Now here there are certain 5 articles, 5 way of sections related who started this part of it, where they have been given the priorities for the museums to set up properly, libraries to be set up. At least the students will be coming, they will be learning more and more, because as if they go for this thing, and if the students want to do any kind of research work, they want to be a certain part of it related to scientists or any kind of research relating to the particular thing. So this type of facilities also been started providing into article 62 to 66. Now here see, the union government has been given this part of priority. Now the union government has the responsibility to provide the finance and administrations of national library, museum, education institutions of national importance. So now you can say this was a provision for higher education and research center. Means if the students who after 14 years of age, they want to study more and more, they want to go for the higher education. So finally this type of also priorities by the union government has been set up like into article, means into the constitution, into article 62 to 66 states about this part of it, where the union government got that part of information, and on that time the provision was made, and finally they have been given more priorities to the finance and administration department to put the certain part of money into museums, certain national libraries. At least the people who wants to get more qualified, they can visit this type of museum, they can go to library, and finally the thing is what, they can collect those informations, and finally they can go for the higher education, which where the national importance related with the educations will be also developing more and more. So this is also one type of provisions. They started this part of it by the union government. So you can see the major impact related to education was given more and more priorities to this part of it. Okay, so see, they have been started using buildings and all. I've given the snapshots relating to this. The certain institutions they have been started, and with the help of this, they are given the more priorities to the education part. So now we can say a union territory, a union government has been also been given the more priorities, importance to the national way of education related. Now, again, there is even, just a minute. Now, there is one more slide that is for the special provision for the education for the Anglo-Indian community. Even they have been kept about for the Anglo-Indian community committee also. According to the Article 337 assured, no education institution shall be entitled to receive any grant under this article unless at the least 40% of the annual admission that is made available to the member of the community other than the Anglo-Indian communities. Now already even the facility was being given by the Anglo-Indian. If the people who are from outside country, even that part of also priorities is also given if they are planning to come and start doing this, that their study also here. Okay, and finally they want to know this part of also education related. So here the priority is also given. The 40% priorities annually it is given for the admission. The people can come and finally they can take the admission. Means you can say even for the Anglo-Indian community, the thing is what they have even started this part of setuping. I've given the pictures also, at least you can recognize with the help of that part of pictures, and finally they used to give the degree on that time because of their qualification, the way they are behaving and all, and finally the provision was also being given. Now, education of a languages of a national importance according to the Article 344 subsection 1 DECLEARES. Okay, it was declared. Okay, according to the Article 344 1. Okay, subsection 1, it was declared about it that related with language related also the education should be started, because the people who don't have the final, because here each and every languages. And if they think about it, that mother tongue languages, the children should get that part of it. So that part also institution has been set up. So 22 languages of the national importance, and the state will make suitable efforts of their development. So there was different types of schools, okay, related to the languages. They have been started, and finally the thing is what, the education was also provided to the language wise also, because according to that part of it, whichever the children will be there, whichever they feel like, finally the thing is what, they can have that part of educations, and that part of language related they can learn, and at least what they can get in education. Article 347 promises. Now what it has been promises, it shall be envied of every states and every local authority within their states to provide adequate facility for infrastructures in the mother tongue at the primary level, especially for the children belonging to the minority group. Now this was for the people, for the minority groups. On that time, according to the Article 347 says, it has been promised that according to the mother tongue languages, what I have been said, the primary level and the primary way of importance was given by the mother tongue languages, because the students, the children should get that part of knowledge related to the mother tongue. At least with the help of this, at least they can learn something, and with the help of learning and understanding related, at least the education will be given the priority that way. So that is what has been said. every states and every local authorities within the states to provide adequate facilities for instructions. The related way of instructions, every states, every way of local authority was instructions by the mother tongue at the primary level, especially to the children belonging to the minority group. So here the thing is, it was here equally treated, but related here minority group related, the first priority will be your mother tongue language will be given to it. So that part of it, the learning session has been even conducted, and according to this type of session, it was been directly promised it, and with the help of that part of promise, the provisions was also being set up. So this is also the one type of an article which was prevent. Now here, when we'll be discussing this also, part 1, part 2, 3, 4 and 5. We'll be learning these 5 parts and what our education says about. Now first, in part 1 you will be learning right to this, we will be going internally, depth you will be learning. Now when part 1 what it has been said, part 2 education as a human rights. Okay, why we do the, why this type of rights of education it has been done? Because the thing is what already we have been learned, na? First into the previous, the goal what we have been learned, that to train the citizens, means each and every people should know that as I am a human, what is my rights? If I am getting an education, what is my right? So this, that is why the first part says about it, right to education as a human rights. Second, right of education as a fundamental rights. The human rights and fundamental rights are different. Okay, so we'll go ahead into the internal depth, so at least you'll be getting a concept. Right to the children for the Free and Compulsory Education Act. Now you can see this each and every, the thing is, into rights of an education, different sessions, different acts are being performed. When I'm using the word act is what are provisions, and with the help of this provision, finally the thing is what, the right of an education related importance it has been given for the children, even for the rest of all the education related importance. Then afterwards part 4 says about right model rules, what are rules certain. 5 says about consequences and implication of an act for a minority, if the, what are the effects, what it has been faced, if related to minority related it has been there. So we'll go into each and every rights internally, and with the help of this each and every rights we will be getting the importance of an education related. Okay, what are the constitution says about, because this all part related from 1 to 5 has been developed by the constitution. The constitution has been set up this all rights, and it has been said about each and every rights are having their own importance, their own way of showing their implications related to each and every particular performance and each and every related with the education. Now the preamble. The preamble, it is what first you can say right of education, which is free and compulsory, was on Act on 2009, which was said previously. Once the thing is we got a republic, the constitution has been formed, then afterwards this type of act, right of children to free and compulsory education, it was first performed into the constitution 2009, was having the more and more impact related to this. See, the preamble, it is what the constitution says about it. Okay, the right of children to free and compulsory education act is a welfare legislation. It's a one type of social welfare related, where a constitution has been developed, this part of rules and regulations where to give up for the free and compulsory way of education. It means to benefit about 1 crore non-schooling going children. The benefit was for the 1 crore going for the schools, the non-school going children. Okay, this was given a priority. Cost anyways is enormous. Central and state will share the financial burden in the ratio of 55:45. Now here the thing is what, the cost, where I'm saying about it, free and compulsory education. So here the thing is what, the children who was not going, because there was no school, so how they will be going out. So that is why the government thought about it by state and central level. Both the thing is what, the cost was bifurcated, and finally with the help of it, the burden was directly, the financial burden was into the ratio. This much you will be giving, this much you will give, and finally will be giving the more priorities for the education. It will bring the pupils and teachers ratio is to 30:1, what I said to it. Means if there is on 30 students and 1 teachers will be the representative. So this will be upbringings on that time. 5.1 lakh teachers are required. So good scope for a trained teachers, B.Ed students, public B.Ed students. Now here, the priorities for 5 to 1 lakh teachers was required on that time, because previously when they start up with this type of it, so on that time they thought about it, this much teachers we require, because for giving proper education, this much teachers was required, 5 to 1 lakh teachers. Now into this, if they plan to keep the good trained teacher who have the good vast knowledge, or else they used to keep the B.Ed students, because the B.Ed students, it is what the B.Ed, it is called Bachelor of Education, means that person who become a teacher, he or she should have that type of qualification, where the thing is the skills have been developed, the way of their behaviors have been developed, because here the thing is what the teacher, whenever the qualification it has been said, the B.Ed was given a priorities on that time, because there the teacher will be having a proper knowledge, or if the students who are doing a B.Ed, at least let us place them, because at least what they'll be giving the knowledge to the children. Everyone seems to have jumped to an idea of RTE, that is Right to Education Act, without releasing its implications. Okay, the idea already got, but the thing is what the proper way of implication was not even given to it. India has joined a group of few countries in the world which makes education fundamental rights of every children. In that sense, it is an historical. Now here, when previously, because India was that much, so the that part of collaboration was not there. But slowly and steadily, when education related priority was given, so ultimately the India started having the different type of few countries related, they perform a group, and finally they have been given a priorities related to the education related, and finally the thing is the fundamental rights of each and every children started developing, and finally it became a history for this. The act is meant to help the children for economical weaker section as well as the children with the disability. Here the thing is what why this part of RTI it has been set up, because the thing is to develop the children, those students who are in the weaker sections, even the students who are into the minority sections, and even the children who are being disabled. Okay, so like each and every year to give those priorities to the children, disabled children, the weaker sections, the minority one is this part of it. The act was more and more enriched for this part only. So at least what they can come through with the different part of it, they learn and they can come into that part of it. Finally, they can change their own self, and with the help of changing their own self, they can start with their own type of employment. Then the hope was that the act would help improving government schools and would not do any harm to the private school, but it will turn out to be the other way. Now here the main hope will be what, here it is not like the private schools, what it has been going to shut that private schools and giving the more priorities to the government schools. Here it is not like that. The act was like where the private schools was also being set up, even the government school was also there. But the thing is what the act was, that is why this all provision has been given to give the new changes, new type of way of distance, new type of showing the face relating to the education way of pyramid, and that is why the thing is what the children will be having the more and more connections to the education. They will be getting they'll know the priority of an education, why the education is important, and why this all provision as they have been set up. So why these provisions are having more and more to us. So the benefits and even the thing is what are the importance related to education was this, at least they'll be getting qualification, they'll be proper skills, and finally the thing is what they can face the world. So till now the thing is what they have been started this part of it, and finally the thing is what the government has given the more and more priorities related to the education. Nowadays you can say the government has given more priorities to the education. So you can say not even for the public schools, and even to the private schools are also being set up, and even the thing is what the government school what previously which was there. So after looking after with the more and more development, they started changing the new face of the government school, which what was the current school, which was at least what they started changing with the help of new type of it, where they can give the children more and more importance to it related to the information. And even the thing is what the teachers was that way, it was qualified, it was trained that way. So at least in the front of the children, at least what they can come, they can have that kind of they can share that part of information to the children. At least they have been there into the contact, and they can give that part of priorities to the study related. So this is a different type of preamble what they have been thought about. When the constitution, when related this part of act, it was set up. So on that time the constitution says this part of importance which was given for an education for a children. Now, as if I already said to you, we'll go with the five different parts which was given by the right of education. The first, it is what right of education as a human rights. What are the human rights says about it for the rights of education? Next, education is a fundamental right. This also we have been learned. Now, first, moving into the internal, first you will be seeing what are fundamental rights. Fundamental rights are rights which are inheritance in the human beings. They are natural rights. These rights are regarding fundamental because they are most essential for tending for all full growth, development and potential of human beings. Now your fundamental rights, it is what are your rights? A human being's way of thoughts, the human being way of perceptions. The first right was the human rights, and second right, it is what are fundamental rights. The fundamental rights which has been directly coming from by the human beings. What are your rights? Means what are your behavior? What are your thoughts? So that part of it rights what you're coming and sharing to it, and from this part of it at least you start developing to it, and finally the thing is you can show your growth to according to whatever the rights you have been got. The frame of the Indian Constitution drawing inspiration from the bills of the rights of America incorporated a full chapter of this rights to part 3 of the Constitution. This fundamental right listed in our Constitution represent the basic value cherished by the people of this country. Now here this fundamental, how the fundamental rights has been set up and how the Indian Constitution, this type of rights has been set up. In the bills of rights of America, means US related to they got an spiral from the bills of America, and from this they have been started this part of point related to fundamental rights, where the human rights, human beings wants, needs, their thoughts was even was shown on that time for the growth and the development of the human beings. So this is also one part of it where was given more priorities to the fundamental rights also. Now, I have certain articles, and into this certain articles where the thing is what education was also given a priority. Now, according to Article 46, the state shall promote with a special care the education economical interest of the weaker section of the people, and particularly for the SC and ST, and shall protect them from social injustice of all form of exploitation. So here into this part of sections, here the special care was taken for the weaker sections, even for the minority sections, and even for the SC and ST. This all way where their economical way, their standard way, each and everything they was low. So here they have been given more and more priorities relating to the education, and even to their way of behaving, and even for that, even if they are having certain injustice of what it has been happening to this particular way of weaker section point. So ultimately the rights was also being performed, and for if the certain exploitation relating to certain kind of injustice has been conducted, so on that time certain special provision was also been taken care. According to Article 29, no citizen shall be denied admission in any education institution maintained by state or religions aid out state funds on ground on religion, race, caste, language or any of them. Now here it is not like that when the admission it has been given or when admission it has been taken. So here the thing is the citizen, it is here it is strictly restricted, where it is being seen with the help of your religion, race, caste, language. If this ground, if it has been seen, the admission has been not at all conducted. So here the thing is the citizen shall be denied if the admission it is given. If means here the citizen shall be denied if the admission is based on the religion, languages or any caste or any gender. If it has been given, strictly it should be denied according to the Article 29. Equality of opportunity is based feature of Constitution and has been interpreted to include the equality in education, which means equality access to education and equality educations to the facilities. Now here the word equality has been shown, equality of opportunity related to education, related to the admissions, related to any part of provisions related to whatever it will be there, it will be given an equal opportunity. Here there won't be any kind of prohibition, not any kind of exploitation, not any any part of injustice should be created related to the education and benefits. Here the equal opportunity will be given to each and every people, because with the help of this only it shows certain kind of equality which shows a secular, and that is why we have already learned the word secular when we learn about it, what is constitution. So on that time we have learned secular, we are into the secular. It is what, like each and every people here, there is no any kind of casteism, no any kind of gender or any kind of religion wise we are going out here. It is a secular state, whichever you want you can go to, and the opportunity will be given for the each and every people. Even for the Anglo-Indians are being there, we are giving an opportunity, but for them special provisions are being there, and even each and every education institutions also they have been kept for certain percentage for an Anglo-Indian who come from outside of the India, and finally the thing is they plan to study into India. So ultimately that part of also certain rules and regulations it has been formed by the Indian Constitution. Means you can say each and every rules and regulations are been formed by the Indian Constitution to start up and to develop development into each and every, not even to the higher class but even to the lower class and even for the middle class. Each and every priorities are being set. So this is also one type of priority. Now, all these factors contributes and finally gave the birth to this new act. As if I already said, as we have already learned 42, 46, 47 different type of sessions, different type of articles. Finally, the thing is what, right to education, right to children to free and compulsory education act 2009. What has been said in 2009, this type of act has been set up, and finally the thing is what, relating to the children should give a free and compulsory way of education related to 2009, where all the sessions are what it is, whatever we have been covered up right now. So with the help of that type of session which was given a priorities to have more and more impact related to this part of it. Now whatever the rules and regulations will be followed according to this part of it. If the children are restricted, prohibited for certain kind of sessions or certain kind of way of however they have been performing, or if it has been deploying very badly to that part of it, so ultimately the thing is it has been penalized to whatever it has been the rules and regulations it has been set according to that part of it has been penalized. So each and everything is child related rights. What are rights of child? Means first we have been said RTE, that is right to education, but here the thing is what, the education is given to the child. So here they have given the even the priorities for the children also, that at this particular age they should be this, because that much age till the age of 14, we previously only we have been seen into the slide that at the age that till the age of 14, okay, means till the age of 14 it has been strictly restricted that the children won't be working into any factories or any kind of mining or any kind of industries, because it has been strictly, because on that time he is a child, he's that right, it is what the child right, it has been there first to get an education, then afterwards you can do the work. Because if this kind of scenario will be there till the age of before 14 age, the thing is 14 years of age, if the child is working somewhere, so it has been strictly will be snatched to even when the snatching to the person also, the head of the person, the factory owner also, and the child will be directly transferred to the welfare committees, and finally from there only the thing is what, the changes has been changed, and finally the thing is what, the rights was directly strictly to the children. And here the thing is from children only give that part of education to them, because there are so many different kind of way of sessions, different way of type of provisions, laws are being set up. So now the thing is what, to get the education from the childhood only, which will be created major and major impacts to it. Because your language related, even 22 related language, even the states, each and every states related, the language has been set up. With the help of that language, finally the schools are being set up. They have been given the priority for that particular it, and so that is why at least with the help of that primary, which is a mother tongue, at least the child will be having that part of knowledge. So you can see so many different type of changes have been done. One is the thing is what, Free and Compulsory Way of Education Act 2009 has been set up. Now, Right of Education Act in 2009 again. Now see, what are the main objectives? Means they have been set up with Right to Education Act, which was set up in 2009. What are the main objectives? Why this part of Act has been started up? To provide for free and compulsory education for all the children at the age of 6 to 14 years. Already I've been said, into this particular, free and compulsory education will be given to all, emphasizing in on children belonging to disadvantaged group. If the the children is belonging from certain disadvantageous group, means wrongly where he has been performing his duty, so here it has been directly it has given more emphasizing to the children to study for this, because this right says about it to get education properly for the children. Okay, this is given a priority. Definition. Now, according to section 2, subsection 2 D, E, F, H, N, this different type of categories was developed by the rights to an education related to 2009. Children's belongings to disadvantages group. This was more and more emphasized. They have been planned for this thing to develop. Next, children belonging to the weaker sections, if the children are into the weaker sections to it. So finally, that part of also given a priorities. Elementary educations, if extra related way of educations will be providing to this. Local authorities, schools. 4 category of schools, different category of schools has been started up. That is governmental schools, aided schools, schools belong to specific categories, that is Kendra Vidyalay, Navodaya Vidyalay and Sainik school, etc. This was a different type of category of schools what they have been started, so that at least what this particular people who don't have that part of money, who don't have that kind of facility, at least what we can provide it. Even unaided schools, you can see different type of categories of schools has been set up when related to right of education in 2009. After 2009, this all different type of schools has been set up and have been given the more priorities, because the people, the local body and the governmental body was also there to watch and to manage each and every rules and regulations to this. So this was also one type of priorities. Now, section 3 says about right to the children to free and compulsory education, the neighboring schools still completing of the elementary education. Okay, means if nursery and junior and all, if it has been completed, so finally the thing is free and compulsory education is also given for the further studies of it. It has given a priority. Compulsory educational means obligation for the states to provide free elementary educations to every children at the age of 6 to 14. So your compulsory education was given to it. Even this priority was also been there, that to give the compulsory educations to this particular way of it, where till the age of 6 to 14 was given major importance to the education related, that to give this part of education for each and every people, because that create a major impact to development of the citizen also, and even for the training of it from the children wise. Section 4 says about it, special provision for the children not admitted to who have not completed elementary education. Such children are to be directly admitted in the class appropriated to his or her age in order to be par with others, have the rights to receive special training and shall be entitled to the free education till completion of elementary educations even after the 14 years. Even they have been kept in section section 4, they have been kept this part of provision. If the students, already it has been said previously that they should be having the elementary education, means till 6 to 14, there should be a free and compulsory education. But in between certain crisis has happened, and if the children has already not completed this elementary education also, he has been not at all completed because of certain kind of points. Related to certain crises happens. If that children is not able, he has been not at all complete with the education, elementary education, so this part of it, session says about it, if the children has completed his 14 years of age, after 14 years of age, it's a priority of after 14 years of age, this provision says about it, the student is also being given a training, special training student, at least he completes with from 6 to 14 years of age, whatever the education was remaining out. Again, after 14 years also, if he has been not at all completed, so again the education will be also provided to it, and even special training will be given for the special kind of children, which will be more and more impact for the education also. And even the thing is what he will be knowing, whether he will be getting that part of facilities also, and he will be according to this, he will be properly educated to this. So your free educations will be also given if after, you can say, of elementary education even after 14 years. After 14 years also this part of benefits it has been given. So according to this, you have seen each and every sections are given certain kind of each and every priorities they have been changed for the children. So section 9 describe the duties of the local authorities. Even for the local authorities they have been state certain points. Section 10 describe the duty of the parent and the guardians to admit his or her child ward in the neighborhood school for the elementary education. It's a compulsory to give certain school in between 6 to 14 years of age. The students should get proper, the children should get a knowledge. So it's a duty of according to section 10 says about the duty of a parent or a guardian to send the children to the school, okay, till he don't complete his educational elementary education. Section 11 states the duty of appropriate governments to provide for the preschools education. Even section 11 says about preschooling also education, like you can say senior, your nursery, this also should be also provided. This duty should also provided according to the government says about it, that you should start planning this thing, that the state should also be start this preschooling facility also. That once the thing is, once the child it has been born at certain part of age, once the thing is what he is coming with the help of third year, 3 years as if he is becoming also ultimately preschooling way of facility should also be developed by the government. So at least what he will be getting the education from the beginning only. So then afterwards he can capture the study properly, because according to whatever the he has been taught about it, he has been learned, he has been trained. So according to that, at least what he can come into it and finally get a qualification. Now, extent of school's responsibilities. Now, according to section 12, certain school responsibilities will be also been extending, because this is not, when I'm telling about education is not only for certain periods, for the till the vast. But here when I'm telling about the vast, so here extent of school responsibility. What are school responsibilities? To admit children belonging to the weaker sections and disadvantaged group in the neighborhood in the class 1 at least up to 25% of the strength of the class. Now here, if weaker sections will be there, so at least you need to start up with the different type of schooling way, different type of sessions you need to develop, and finally at least give that type of priorities, teach that type of it, so at least what the child can grow themselves. And unneeded school will reimburse expenditures incurred by the extent of per children expenditure incurred by the state or actual amount charged for the children, whichever is less. Now the reimbursement shall not exceeding per child expenditures incurred by the government school. Every school shall provide such information as many required by the government or local authorities. Now here, when unaided schools, their expenditures will be higher. So according to this, how you will be hiring the expenditures according to the incurred by the extent to the per children expenditure incurred by the state or an actual amount charged for the children, whichever is less. Now here, if the actual, what will be the extent for a children? Now by its extent of per children expenditures. Now, what is the cost of per children? What are the expenditures you have been putting? That or by the state, how means by the state, if for the one particular children, how much the amount it has been inculcated, or the actual amount charged, or the particular what amount it has been charged for the children, whichever will be the less, you calculate that thing, and finally according to that part of it you need to reimburse, and finally the government schools will be planning according to that way only. You need to take that part only reimbursement, and if it has been not there, you can reimburse that particular amount if it has been higher also. But here it is what the school should give each and every information, whatever the government or local authorities has been planned or has been set up, so that all part of information should be given by the school. So currently you can say any kind of schools it has been there, any kind of institution it has been there. So here the thing is what the priority of governments or a local body should be directly passed to the school. At least the school will be getting that part of information, whatever the rights related information will be planned. So at least that will be treated as true and fair when finally they have more and more impact related to that particular way of responsibility which they will be taking into their hand. So this is the responsibility, the school responsibility has been extended to more and more because of this part of it. They need to take care relating to this particular part of it where the ratios, where the numbers are being used, because that will be created a proper way of interaction and proper way of inculcating relating to the particular way of work. So this is the work related. Now, I have more different type of sections. Section 13, no caption fees to be charged. Okay, no extra fees will be charged. The All Indian Catholic Education Policy 2007 also deplored any attempt to the commercial education accepting of the caption fees. Now here they thought about it now into. Already it has been there that no caption fees, it has been done, no extra fees will be charged. But according to the All Indian Catholic Education Policy 2007, they were also deploying this part of it, any attempting this. So they thought about they used to accept this type of caption fees. No screening either of the children or a parent for the admission. It has been strictly been restricted that year when they're giving the admissions to the children, so it is not like that you screen the children, you even screen the parents, and finally again the thing is what you have that part of interest or that part of way of points related, and finally the thing is what you accept those children, you take those children. So here no screening either of the children or the parents for the admission. Section 14 says about it, age of a children to be determined on the basis of the birth certificate issues in accordance with the provisions of the Birth, Death, Marriage Registration Act according to 1886 or hospital registered record or Anganwadi record or even affidavit. No child shall be denied admissions in the school for the lack of the age proof. So even section 14 says about it, if the children, like as when the children is getting any kind of admission, so he used to have, he or she used to have certain kind of birth certificate, and if birth certificate will be according to the provisions of the Birth, Death and the Marriage Registration Act, which was conducted on 1886, or a hospital registered when he has been born. So that part of it, so the certain record should be there, and with the help of the record finally the child will be getting an admission. So this will be also been taken care. But if due to the lack of the age, the child should, it is not here like that into this session, it has been not said about it that the admission, that the child should not get an admission because of they don't have any kind of age proof. Lack of age proof. If the age proof is not there and if they're not providing, so it is not like that to not give the admissions to their children. So here it has been strictly denied for this part of it, that admission should be given for each and every particular it. If the age proof is not there, still the thing is the admission should be provided to the each and every children. According to section 14 it has been said about, because education is a must. Now, according to section 15, no denial of an admission even if the child do not turn up at the commencement of an academical year. So if during an academical year, if this child is not taken any admission, so finally on that time here it has been strictly, it is not like that you should not say that your admission won't be done. Here the admission can be done according to the proper way of requirements and proper way of age. Currently the thing is what the forms and all into the proper type of channels only it has been started. So that this part of it is like here the admission won't be denied for any kind of children if the academical year is already full. It is the compulsory for in college or institution also, school also to accept the children. No child, according to section 16, no child once admitted can be held back or expelled till the completion of elementary education. Now in between, if the child has been admitted and finally the thing is what he is telling, I don't want to complete my study, till the completing of elementary education, the child it has been not at all taken back. According to section 17, no child shall be subjected to the physical punishment or the mental harassment. This has been also been strictly restricted. There won't be any physical punishment, and even for the no mental harassment will be also been done, because if this it has been done, finally the strictly action will be taken by the school. So according to section 17, this has also been taken care relating to the children. Now, according to section 18, no school, those schools to be established without obtaining certificate of recognition. That is most important. Whenever you are opening any kind of school, it is a duty of a schools to take a recognition, means from whichever the state it has been belonging to, so ultimately you need the recognition. Now, according to section 19, schools to be fulfilled all the norms and standards specified in the schedule already, obviously that is compulsory, according to the act, whatever we have been learned right now, that right to education, right to children related to the education according to the 2009. So according to that part of certain norms have been there. Currently, we have been learning right to education. Why we are learning right of education? Why the constitution has been developed? The constitution, and into that constitution, the right of education has been developed because that is why that the thing is that each and every people will be following the norms, rules, regulations they'll be following. So that is why the schools have been open, any institution has been open, it should be properly recognized. And even the thing is what according to the schedule wise, whatever we have been learning, part 1, part 2, part 3, 1 to part 1 to 5, whatever the parts we have been learned, so that according to that part it should be go, and according to that the school should be fulfill all the norms whatever the government and local body require. Section 20, power of the governments to amend the schedule. It is the if certain period of time they want to change certain schedule, it's a power of the government, it's not the power of the school. The school cannot change the rules and regulations because school is your, but internal terms and conditions would be according to the government. So according to the 20, it has been said if any kind of schedule means if any kind of changes they want to do relating to Anglo-Indians, relating to any kind of teachers, relating to any kind of children, relating to any kind of way of age barriers related, if they want to do, the government will be having that part of duties and that part of only power. He can only change the schedules related, he can only changes whatever the amendments he needs to do. And once the thing is amendment will be done, finally the thing is the government should respond to the school. It is a duty of that also. So according to section 20 says this also. Now, according to section 21, the thing is what every school should constitute a school management committee consisting of. Now here, each and every school should constitute, it has been already into the governmental book, already it has been there, that the committee should be there, school managemental committee. Now the elected representative of local body, parent, guardians and teachers, here each and every people will be commencing, means here the elections will be represented, and finally from the local body, parent and guardians of the teachers will be there. At least 3/4 of the members shall be parent and the guardian. Now into this, there should be a proper, into this type of representative way of meeting, there should be a parent and the guardian should also be there, 3/4 of the people. Proportional representation should be given to the parent and the guardian of the children belonging to disadvantaged group or the weaker section. So here it is not like that only priorities and the children's and the parents will be those parents who are into the highly qualified. Here the thing is what proportional equations will be treated for all the children's, and even for the children's if that children it is into the weaker section also, that it is also given a priority. From that also there are certain parents who have been came, and finally that person can be also be representative. 50% of the members shall be women. Already it has been said into this type of committee, 50% of the women shall be there. Functions of the SMC, that is school management committee, what are the functions? Now relating to this part of it, why this part of committee has been performed into the constitution, already this type of committee it has been there, but what are the major priority, why this type of committee it has been performed, and what are the things they'll be doing? So what are the functions? First it is what? Monitoring the working of schools. Obviously they'll be checking out what are the schools, how the schools are going out, this they will be checking. Prepare and recommend school development plan, even if they want any kind of changes or they want to recommend to any part of plans that do this way, do that way, that is also been seen. Monitor the utilization of grant received from the government, that is also important, that what are the government has given certain grants, and according to that grants you need to take care that the schools are running or not. Perform other functions as may be prescribed, even other functions, whatever it has been prescribed by the government, so at least you need to have a taken care relating to this particular committee, and the committee will look after with all such type of schools related, and related to this, whatever the functionings are moving smoothly or not. So these are the things which have been taken care relating to this, because that will be having the major impact and major performance related to this particular thing. So here the committee has been set up by the government. Preparation now, according to section 22, here the preparation of school development plans by SMC, it is a compulsory that according to section 22, school development plans, what are the new things you can start up, that field trips you can start up, you can give the museum, you can show them the museum, you can take them the library, certain books you need to refer. This will be treated more and more development to the schools related. Section 23 states that the qualification of appointment and the term and the conditions of services of the teacher shall be laid down by the academical authority authorized by the government. Even section 23 says about this thing that appointment of the teachers will be directly done by the government or any local authority will be there or authority by the government only. It is not like that any school cannot be appointed. Here from the government only, the thing is what it will be appointed. 24. Duty of the teacher. Teacher shall maintain regularity, punctuality, complete the curriculum, hold regular meetings with the parent, guardians, etc. This is also the duty of a teacher also, that according to the section 24 says about it, that the duties of the teachers, it is what, to be regular, to maintain himself regular, show certain punctuality. Okay, you need to show the punctuality because that professionalism you need to show. And how you show the professionalism? As your curriculum it has been complete, means your education, your qualification it has been complete for each and every particular. Now you can say for education related, it is not like that for each and everything. Now each and every for the particularly you have a field, the students are selecting the field, and according to the field the thing is what they are representing. So here if the teachers are been there, so teachers are having the qualification, that is a BA. If the teachers are been qualified, if that person is qualified, finally his curriculum is clear, so that part if he's aware with each and everything, so then the thing is what, he will be knowing what is my responsibility, what are my rules and regulations, and he'll show that part of punctuality. And even the thing is, he should take care about the regular meetings should be conducted by any parents or a guardians, whatever it will be there, like he or she should take care relating to this part of the major impact related to the meeting, which will be having more and more connection with the teachers also and even with the parents also. So that part of connection will be smoothly functioning of an educational system also. So this has been treated major and more priorities. Section 25 says about it, the pupils ratio. Now, here section 25 says about the pupil-teachers ratio are specifically in the schedules to be maintained, that is class 1 to 5, that is 30:1, about 200 children. If there are some 200 children, about 200 children if it has been there, so ultimately into this 1 to 5 will be from 30 students, there will be one teacher who will be representing. Then then pupils teacher ratio shall not exceeding to the 40, means if 30 to 1 if it has been there, means from 30 students there will be one teacher will be represented, but here it should not exceed by 40. Class 5th to 8th, 1 is to 35, but all least one teachers per class. But here, when related to 1 is to 35, okay, if there are 35 children, but from which 5th to 8th standard if they have been there, so at least one teacher per class should be represented according to 1 is to 35. This will be the reverse one. Now, even section 25 says about filling up of vacancy of the teachers if the teachers are not there. So, it is a duty of a schools to fill up the vacancy. If there is any kind of vacancy, what type of qualified teachers you require, what type of educations you want to provide it to, this too should be taken care. Section 27 prohibit of deploying of teacher for any non-education purpose other than denying population census, disaster relief duties and for the election duties. So, here if the teachers for a non-educational purpose other than denying populations, okay, if this part of scenario it has been a totally it should be restricted if they are going with this part of all the duties unless and until the government has been not called to them, so fine, because they have been recruited. So if this part of it has been there, then only they'll be going. If not there, then finally it has been strictly restricted. No private tuitions for the teacher. This has been strictly said. According to section 28 says about it, no private tuitions will be taken by the teacher. Whichever the school he is belonging to it, so for no private tuitions that teachers will be given to it. If the teacher is taking a private tuition directly, it has been strictly restricted. So you can see different type of terms and condition it has been planned for the education related to the children. Even you can say here certain where now according to section 29, curriculum evaluation procedure for elementary education shall be laid down by academical authority to specify the appropriated government. Okay, so the curriculum and evaluations of the performance of the teachers and even the educational elementary education related, you need to take care. The government should be take care with the help of all those things. Now F section 29 F subsection F, medium of instruction shall be practicable be in the children, be in the child mother tongue. So here this is also given a priority if instructions when it has been given. So primary importance will be given by the mother tongue. Section the 29 subsection 2 subsection H says about it, comprehensive and continuous evaluation of children understanding etc. This should be there. The continuous way of evaluation, comprehensive way of internal thoughts about it, this should be taken care. Now according to section 30, no child shall be required to pass any board exam till the completion of elementary education. It's a compulsory. First he need to complete his all way of qualification, then only the thing is what he will be promoted, or he will be then afterwards only given that part only plans to go ahead with the further qualification. Every child completes the elementary education shall be awarded a certificate. So this has also been done. Once their elementary education has been completed, so then afterwards the thing is what means you can say from 1st to 8th as if it has been completed, finally they have been awarded as a gift. Certificates. Okay, so here I'm just stopping out. We have a next point, we have a other point also. There are more concept what are been there, that will discuss into the next session when it has been there. So then afterwards, till the thing is the chapter it has been this much only. So till the time what we have been learned, the way we have been learned with the help of rights of an education, we got to know the rights of a children. We got to know what are the weaker sessions, what are the minority based also, how SC educations are being provided, even Anglo-Indians related also the qualifications are being provided, and we have been learned so many different type of sections and subsections. Certain articles are also being seen, and with the help of this we got to know the major priority of an education, that education has given major impact relating to the to develop the economy. So that is why the thing is to develop the standard of in India. So that is why this part of it, and to face the competitive world, this part of it education system has been developed by the constitution. So here the thing is what the constitution has given the priorities. We have already been seen each and every term that when the independence when we got a republic, and during republic finally the thing is the constitution has been set up, and with the help of the constitution the thing is what still in the constitution all rules and regulations was formed, but still we was lacking with the certain type of priorities. So that priorities which was not able to complete. So that is why the thing is what it was there was a certain kind of problem, but slowly and steadily we were still waiting for the 60 years, still we was not getting the priorities relating to the education. This was slowly and steadily what we got. Finally we have been planned